Greetings from the far side of the galaxy, I'm Furry, your host the most, here with another one of these short videos. Earlier this week, I posted this, "Who's your furry? Hear me out," and these are your responses. For our first comment, Wolfgang from Skylanders. Quick context. He belongs to a group of villains and he is a serial killer since he traveled to the future to destroy everything by murdering those who protected the Skylands, the place where he lives. But he is a rock wolf, has so much charisma, and the best reason for being evil in the game. Whoa, Skylanders, ain't that a blast from the past? I'm willing to accept any of them as a hear me out just because we're talking about these weird little toys to life thingies. I did in fact play Skylanders once upon a time, but that was just the first generation and I have no idea who Wolfgang is, so I'll just take your word for it. I pulled the next comment out of my pocket. Pocket Cat from Fear and Hunger. He's just really charismatic and nice despite being a literal boogeyman that eats children to prevent them from ascending to the level of Rahar. Whatever that word is. His little coattails and boots are just really cute. I've never played Fear and Hunger despite that totally seeming like something I would be into. A turn-based RPG with occult and horror elements is totally my thing. And yet, with what little I know of Fear and Hunger, I can confidently say wanting to smooch anything from that is weird. Our next comment is from a game I don't really talk about anymore. Qinglong. He's chubby, he's old, he's a dragon, he's a teacher, and most importantly, he was drawn by Ed. Well, that's the reason, really. Qinglong! Really? Qinglong! Even outside of Hasamo's low standards, this is not a hear me out. This is a perfectly regular dragon man. Get to the back of the line. For the next comment, Yanshu Chi from Neko Jishi. Oh wow, we mention him in like every single one of these videos. Hands down, he's just too cute to hate. And also Chaz from Hell of a Boss, cause Sharkimbo. Yanshu Chi, we've been there, we get that. In fact, we've mentioned him so often, I actually have his image files separated from the rest because I need to use it so often. Can't say the same about Chaz though. I don't even really know who he is. I stopped watching Hell of a Boss way before he got introduced. All in all, I'll accept your answers. The next comment came from the deep blue sea. Greta from Library of Runia. Known as the 8 Chef after killing her fellow chef, she partially distorted into an anthropomorphic shark with a bunch of mouths all over her body. She shows up as a member of the Reverberation ensemble. Sadly, she doesn't get much build-up like most of the other members do. And like the rest of the ensemble members at the game's very last boss, she becomes fully distorted with the multiple mouths becoming more obvious. I'm confident she's a cannibal chef, which isn't uncommon in Project Moon games, but I don't care. Just like Greta, she's got a silly looking face and objectively the best person to hug in the entire ensemble. I've never played Library of Runia. I'm not even going to lie and say it's on my list, but I do appreciate this one. Frankly, I can't remember the last time someone mentioned a woman in one of these, let alone one that's a giant shark woman. So you know what? I'm gonna call that base and move on to the next one. The next comment was a vision from the future. I feel like I'd be canceled for mine, Lamau. Thanatos from Password Visual Novel. I will not be elaborating further at this time. I like his personality and funny British accent. You know what? I'm gonna let you have that. I don't care if it's a weird rat robot thing, or maybe you mean the weird rat Reaper of Death thing from the end of the game. I'm gonna let you take his funny British accent and have that. The next comment, I choose you. Incineroar. Stumbled upon a boxing fan art and got intrigued. I'm not gonna hear you out. Too many people simp for Lopunny for me to call an Anthro Pokemon a hear me out. Hell, people even simp for the plant ones if you look at Gardevoir. Since we're about halfway through the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my Ko-fi and Patreon. Now, back to what I was saying. I found the next comment with a little help from my Mickey Mouse-Tool. Pete from Disney. From what I gather, he's probably not such a good person, but I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw that scene in Goof Troop movie, when I first saw that scene in the Good Troop movie, I think, it awoke something in me. From that point forward, my attraction to big belly dads was born. I'm gonna hear you out on this one, but it's honestly really hard to place Pete anywhere because there's simply so many versions of the character. We've got the ones from the Disney cartoons, the one from the Goof Troop movie, and even one from Kingdom Hearts. He's all over the place. We're putting together the next comment brick by brick. Legravis from Lego Legends of Chima. I don't care if he's a Lego, he's a high-tier DILF. I don't know how we reached the point where we're simping for Lego characters, but that's apparently what we're doing. Out of the sheer respect to simp for a Lego character of all things, I'm gonna let you have that one. Digging down deep for the next comment, or maybe not. I've never actually played Burrow, so I don't know if they like burrow into things. I should probably redo this line, but I've already committed way too hard to this bit. Virgil from Burrows. How messed up does one have to be to personally screw with 5 people's lives physically, mentally, and emotionally? Despite his inhumane desires, I'm a sucker for Captain Nico's art style and big men. I haven't played Burrows, so I'll definitely get to it eventually, but I do agree with Nico's art style just being amazing for this sort of game. The way he uses colors and the way they blend into dark lighting is just wonderful. That being said, despite not knowing much about Burrows, I do know enough to be confident in saying I'll let you have that one. I haven't even watched what the next comment is from, so I can't even make a clever comment about it, so I'm just gonna go right to it. Nuka, The Lion King 2, and The Lion Guard. Easily my favorite lion. I love his personality and how relatable he is. Striving for attention from his mother, trying to prove he's not a screw-up and that he has what it takes to be a king. He's my favorite. Few things to address. 1. You'd have to kill me before I watch a direct-to-DVD Disney movie. 2. The only time I've watched Lion Guard is on a TV in Orange Julius. I know that sounds really weird and really specific, but it's true. And 3. I'm gonna let you have this one, not because he's a lion, but because he looks like this. I don't know how Kovu got all the good genes, but my god, he looks like his DNA just spells the word crash out. Keeping up with not just Lion King, but Lion King 2, we have the next comment. Okay, Kovu is a cutie, platonically, and I didn't even realize I felt this way until I saw him in this post and felt compelled to comment. Now Zero would be a don't hear me out kind of situation, so I won't explain myself further. Okay, Zira, I understand. She looks a little ragged, but that's fine. What I don't understand is how this made this. One looks fine and the other is doomed for failure. I don't get it. The next comment invited me to the dance. Coach from Monster Prom. Hear me out. Dilf, but he's ace. So I'm fine with just snuggling the big old tiger man. He's technically your teacher, but Mans is on a whole different level of airhead, lol. Especially in Monster Prom 2. I don't care if he's a dilf, I don't care if he's ace. This is a basic tiger husbando. You could go to any furry thing and find like a dozen of them there. The only thing I should hear you out on is why this isn't the most basic thing on this list. Get to the back of the line. It's been too long since I last played Xenoblade for me to make a joke as I introduce the next comment. Drillmark Byakko from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I know he's literally a white tiger that can talk, but he's such a gentleman and kind old soul. He also gets shafted pretty hard in the story for other main characters, but come on, can you not fall for him? He wears an adorable sleep cap whenever he goes to bed. While I have played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that was like 2 to 3 years ago and I haven't touched the game since. So I do know who Drillmark is, but don't remember a goddamn thing about him. To be frank, the only thing from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that I remember is One-Eyed Monster, and I'm pretty sure I didn't even get that far into the game, but I do respect the choice enough to say I fuck with it. I'm pretty sure the next comment is part of a game my viewers are playing where they try to get me to look up the most obscure furry media they can think of. Scarlet from... okay, I don't know how to say that. She was only trying to thrive and survive in a militaristic dictatorship as a lesser predator among more threatening figures. 10 points for introducing me to something I haven't heard of before, and minus 1,000 points for trying to make me read French. I pointed out the next comment to Nintendo, but they just kinda shrugged and said we'll do nothing with it. Wolf from Star Fox. He is the bad guy, but he helps the Star Fox team when there was an even bigger threat. Wish there was more story to Wolf, but last I checked, it was really just most wanted space bandit, likes money, and works forever pays the most. No, I'm not gonna let you pretend that Wolf from Star Fox, who's in Smash Bros, is a hear me out. He's one of the most common crushes ever. Get to the back of the line. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video before one of you makes me pop a blood vessel. For our 3 stars, we have special thanks to Choron, 87 Wera, Garen LaFay, Zora Chow, and Mervonla. For 4 stars, we have Miko, the intern. And for our super-duper special 5-star shoutouts, we have... First, Vanilla Flower, the Changing Winds. Second, Spidey Zack, the Treasure Seeker. Then, The Good Old Days, the Store from Above. Followed by Hodari Lion, the Escapist. Next, Sky King 64, the Hostile Hunter. Thank you for watching. Do be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my Ko-fi and Patreon. As always, I'm your host Fury, signing out.